In part 1 of this 2-part video, we began to look at the idea of a post-natural world, a planet where humanity has taken over the world using technology to build life forms to either replace dead animals or create new ones to fill our needs. Various trajectories lay in front of us, from the holistic to the truly strange. In this video, we will conclude the topic with more of the fantastical imaginings of Vincent Fourniers and the technologies that could see our planet morphed into an alien world. So let's take a look at the weird world that awaits. Welcome to IF, videos on history and mystery. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you never miss a video again. In the first part of this 2-video series, we established that humanity has built its way out of many of the problems we have faced as societies grow and new challenges present themselves. There has, however, been a significant jump in our capabilities to construct not just mechanical machines, but also create, manipulate, and redesign living cells, sometimes creating unique man-made life forms. Firstly, we shouldn't be too negative about the future. It is possible that we may decide to scale back our manipulation of nature and the wild. Scientists are aware of the problems that we find with the technologies used. As example, the way in which editing DNA can often cause unintended damage. The scissors used to cut the molecules not yet being accurate enough. This small inaccuracy can have huge implications on this technology's future. A small error in genetic code of an animal passed down over generations can express itself in serious ways. There is the potential for us to create what could be equated to genetic diseases. So, if we do continue, we must do so with caution and create a more accurate way to edit cells. There is also the distinct possibility that humanity may collectively decide to turn its back on this genetic engineering and choose to rewild nature, making more space for non-human entities to exist on a well-functioning planet. Some would say that this plan has been put into action today, with programs like Agenda 21 moving the world's population into megacities and leaving large areas to be reclaimed by nature. We could dig deeper into Agenda 21 in another video. Let me know if that's something you would like to see. If the future peoples of the world do choose to use newly developed science to engineer their way out of problems, they must be cautious. Humanity possessing this power, along with our curiosity to manipulate the raw materials of life, are seductive and ever increasing. This is why many believe that the plans for human resettlement are the way to go. They think that they provide the most effective way to both protect fragile ecosystems and sustain the human population long term. The activities of societies would be concentrated into inner cities. Every need we have catered for in that space. Multi-story buildings used as farms, water treatment plants recycling H2O for both consumption and production. One thing that this idea fails to take into account is that evolution will continue in these newly created wild areas. If we spent a number of years away from these places, it is very possible that they would still evolve into places we would not recognize. This is something that people sometimes struggle with. We often see things as static in the short term, but in the long term, we focus on change. We may need to shift our thinking when considering a post-natural future. If we choose a technology-based future, we must be careful to avoid an arms race of sorts. National and private companies developing and implementing corporate plans and law to patent and own ecosystems, animals, and the planet. This is an idea that is featured in many works of science fiction. The world of Aeon Flux being a great example of what we might see. The movie and the comic books are filled with creatures and humans that have been altered at the genetic level. We see life forms just like those theorized by Vincent Fourniers. The chimeric organisms created by the French artist could be accurate. Creatures like the genetically altered beetles that would become GPS linked and help map the world. Birds with metal legs to help them resist a harsher environment. And fish adapted to serve as drones. These aquatic lifeforms becoming the soldiers of the future. If you haven't heard of this man's work before, I recommend you give it a search. You can lose hours pondering his designs and thoughts on the post-natural world ahead. His idea of the future may have some truth to it. We have already started engineering organisms, like the biosteel goat on display in the Center for Post-Natural History that I mentioned in part 1, and a ribless mouse embryo being created in the laboratory to explore the function of Hox genes. The engineered mouse embryos, biosteel goat, and fluorescent fish at the center of post-natural history may just be the beginning. These animals are seen as property and are offered protection under law that sees harsher penalties for intellectual and property rights infringements. This legal protection is stronger than the laws which protect natural animals. This could see us placing higher emphasis and value on engineered life. As such, modified organisms are likely to either replace nature as it stands, or corporations might seek to overtly or covertly do away with comparably unreliable biological entities entirely, or populate the world with synthesized agents. It's a scary future that would likely be a fragile balance of natural and man-made. It could lead to many complications. In addition, creating a world devoid of biophilia, we as a species are not outside of this realm of engineering. If we look very far ahead, a bioengineered future could even change our sense of what it means to be human. The idea of a transhumanist future is a topic I have approached a couple of times before. The idea that we will merge with machines, becoming cybernetic organisms, has been the subject of many papers, movies, and books. They often warn people of losing what makes us human as we alter our bodies. The idea that with each upgrade we sacrifice a little more humanity. The gene-altering technologies of a post-natural world would give us another option. We could merge with plants and animals. Donna Haraway has proposed the idea that we must become part plant, animal, or vegetable. She names this transformation symbiosis, a mutually beneficial hybridization with humans. This could mean that we become invested in the things that we need to survive, and that they could be the same as plants and animals. The survival of these modified humans now being linked to the survival of natural species. But at that point, would we even be considered human? She is really talking about creating a new dominant species, and you know how that would most likely work out for good old homegrown Homo sapiens. The post-natural future takes many past their comfort zone. What really matters in the broader arc of human history is the legacy we have to our descendants. We should not make changes today that will harm their future. Let me know your thoughts on this topic in the comments below. If you like what I do here on the channel, hit that red button, like and share. You can catch the latest by searching We Are If. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.